Oh, f***ks. Hello and welcome to another installment of Apathy and Arpeggios New Music Reviews. Today I will be discussing the brand new LP by London, England post-punk revival quartet Savages titled Adore Life. This is the band's sophomore release on Matador Records. It's the follow-up to their 2013 debut album titled Silence Yourself. I've always admired how this band has embraced the anthemic side of punk rock while composing their music in such an artful way. Namely the lyrics of their songs, which maintain a unique balance of aggression and desperation, usually revolving around the subjects of love and lust. In fact, with the wide range of dynamics and the dissonance of their sound, I would describe the emotional effect of their music as subdued ferociousness. If that makes any sense. The band takes obvious influence from the pioneers of British noise rock in the late 70s, namely Susie and the Banshees and Public Image Limited, but only in the primal nature of the sound that these bands had. Savages have adopted their own mentality with their music, more so that it represents a more modern outlook on subjects such as love and sexuality and independence and emotional security. With that being said, the title of this record says a lot in a positive way. The band has said that the album represents a desire for personal growth and change, and really the ability to measure one's own emotional depth to find the positives amongst the negatives. Despite this, the album begins with the noisy, chugging anthem titled The Answer, which appears to portray this desperate ultimatum from one lover to another. The words, "Wish me luck, this was a hard year, and I can't see no brighter future," carry with it a certain bleakness that's refrained in the main lyric, "If you don't love me, you don't love anybody." And this offers some stark contrast to the album's mostly positive message right from the very beginning. The main guitar riff in the second track, Evil, is vaguely reminiscent of latter-era Riot Grrrl punk, especially Sleater Kinney. All in all, it's one of the more conventional sounding songs on the record, playing mostly into their early post-punk influences. The start and stop rhythms of the track Sad Person effectively equate to the roller coaster message of the lyrics. The story being told in these lyrics is one of the more intricate ones on the album, taking the rather rudimentary subject of trying to pick up someone and turning it on its head so the person who is flirting realizes their own insecurities in the person they are flirting with. Keep in mind, this is just my interpretation of things. The song Adore trudges along at this slow tempo, led mostly by this slow swinging bass line. Structurally speaking, the song serves the same sort of purpose that Waiting for a Sign did on Silence Yourself. Even though the song starts out sounding like this ominous Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds type murder ballad, at moments it transitions to this hopeful sounding melody, mainly before the lyrical refrain of "I adore life." And really, this track closely embodies the overall message of the album, which is about embracing the present, forgetting the past, and not fearing the future. The song builds up to this intense coda at the end, which fits nicely in the grand scheme of the production mix, and generally it's one of the more enthralling moments on the album. Despite having some of the best lyrical passages, the track Slowing Down the World doesn't really add anything substantial to the record. Certainly not a terrible song, it's just a little too conventional and kind of boring altogether. Part of what makes the song I Need Something New stand out, however, is how vocalist Jenny Beth manipulates her voice in terms of pitch and intensity all throughout the song. Combined with the discordant up-tempo sound and the sexual frustration in the lyrics, it lends that same kind of ferocity that makes this band's songs so enjoyable. The lyrics in the equally frustrated sounding When in Love could be interpreted as a continuation in the saga of the troubled partners in I Need Something New. The track Surrender is a slight change of territory on the record, but not too much. It sounds a little drum and bassish at the beginning. It's punctuated by this pitch modulated fuzz bass. Really, it's one of the best produced tracks on the record. I especially like the chorus, how it's punchy and it boosts the song up to this new level for just a few moments until dropping it back down. One of the more aggressive sounding songs on the record, This Is What You Get, is really a scathing energizer that demonstrates the best dynamic abilities of this band. And finally, the album closes with Mechanics, which is this trembling slow burner that builds up this ominous collage of guitars, feedback, and undertone. The chilling atmosphere of the track perfectly complements the song's subject matter of the value of one's virginity and what it means to lose it. I'm just going to recap some pros and cons about this record. Just like its predecessor, this album has tons of strength at its core. Part of this has to do with the consistent yet very detailed production work of Johnny Hostile. But also the music and the lyrics have their own dynamic power, and both are utilized in a way that perfectly suits the genre and the audience that they are aiming for. With that being said, their musical style just pales when it's used in a more conventional structure. It just simply takes away from what they are trying to accomplish. The good news is that it rarely happens on this record. While there's no surprises on this album, they've effectively demonstrated the growth of their band, both sonically and through maturity. And in a way, the core message of this album resonates that way. Savages may occasionally be lobbed into that category of post-punk revival, along with bands like Viet Cong and label mates Algiers. But their unique approach to the poetry of human emotion and the feeling of longing to be loved really puts them in a league of their own. Because of this, I am giving Adore Life by Savages a B+. But what did you think of this album? Is it better or worse than Silence Yourself? Why or why not? Feel free to leave a comment below, and while you're at it, why don't you hit subscribe? That's it for another episode of Apathy and Arpeggios. I'm Chris Dobigan, and until next time, I'm out.